Hello, welcome to my channel Crafts and Crime, where I will be talking about true crime and doing different crafts. Today we're doing crochet. I have a lot of projects I need to finish, so you're going to be along the ride with me while I finish them and just talk about anything that I find interesting revolving around crime. So welcome and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all those things people tell you to do when you watch YouTube videos. You know the drill. Do that for me so I can continue to do this. Okay, let's get into today's story. So today's story is the assassination of Shinzo Abe. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. Shinzo Abe. And it's pretty interesting how it kind of devolves together. The story just kind of folds together very smoothly, piece by piece, bit by bit. And it took me a lot of researching to kind of see how the dots just kind of connect together. So let's get started. So on July 8th, 2020, during the height of lockdown, ex-Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was assassinated by Tetsuya Yamagami in front of a crowd of people while Abe was giving a speech. Shinzo Abe was born September 21st of 1954 to his father, Shintaro Abe, and Yoko Kishe? I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Abe was born into a political family. His grandfather was Prime Minister Nobusuke Kishi? Yeah, from 1957 to 1960 of Japan. Abe's early life really isn't mentioned very much. Like, I couldn't find too much information revolving around his early life. Like, was he loved by his family? What did he do during his childhood? Where they really lived? Did they have a wealthy life, a poor life? Just because his grandfather is prime minister doesn't mean anything, right? And I think also it mentioned that his great uncle was also in some sort of political power. So he was destined to go into politics, unfortunately. Yeah. So Abe graduated from Sekai University in 1977, and he studied political science at the University of Southern California in LA. In 1982, Abe worked as secretary for his father, Shintaro. Shintaro was Japan's foreign minister. So they were doing a lot of political stuff in his family. My mother was a banker. I didn't want to do that, so here we are. Abe joined the Liberal Democratic Party, also known as the LDP, which was largely known for its pro-U.S. foreign policy. That'll come up later. In 2006, Abe became the youngest prime minister born after World War II when he was elected. And Abe won the seat on the Diet, the D-I-E-T. It's a parliament in Japan. So kind of similar how we have the House of Representatives. It's kind of like that. So he won a seat on that. Abe supported the United Nations sanctions against North Korea because, North Korea was doing a lot of crazy stuff, testing out different nuclear weapons and just being a little crazy. They always kind of do that, though. Every, 2 or 3 years, you hear that North Korea is testing out different nuclear weapons, firing missiles, and they're kind of unironically doing it close to Japan. Why is that? Someone tell me. Kim Jong-un, if you're watching, why are you doing this? Why can't we all just live in peace and harmony and love? Right? So, Abe was against North Korea's tests of nuclear weapons, and he was very adamant that North Korea was no longer allowed to do trading with Japan So he banned all visits from North Korean vessels to Japanese ports. In September of 2007, Abe did resign as the Prime Minister of Japan. Reports say it was due to his ulcerative colitis, which is basically an inflammation of the colon. However, it was really due to his loss in the polls. People were not voting for him. Due to his run, he promised to shore up the country's pension and health care. However, many financial scandals would arise, including, but not limited to, decades of the government mishandling pension funds of millions of citizens in Japan. And it just seemed like Abe was kind of taking a turn that most people that voted for him wasn't really expecting. Not the first time that's happened, I'm sure. Abe did retain his seat in Diet. However, he didn't really give too much political points or point of views or really much interest in anything too political at that time, just from all the serious backlash that he had recently faced as prime minister. Abe did run again for prime minister, and he did win and was selected in 2012. As part of his first acts, it was to visit the Yasukuni Shrine, which is a memorial of individuals convicted of war crimes in World War II. It was extremely controversial, I believe, due to the person who built it. I really couldn't get a clear answer, so if I'm wrong, correct me please, or let me know down in the comments, because I couldn't find like a clear answer on any of the sites that I visited. It just showed that like two people were convicted of Class A, and then one person was convicted but not charged for Class B. So I couldn't find any other information. I tried to look up the controversy around this shrine and anything else involved with it, but I couldn't find too much information revolved around it. So if you know anything, let me know down in the comments below of why it was so extremely controversial for him to visit the shrine and why the shrine is controversial in general. Like, I looked up Wikipedia and some other news sites, but I couldn't find anything that would give me a pinpoint direction. So sorry, I don't have that direct answer, but it was extremely controversial that he was even visiting this site. Abe also developed an economic resource called Abenomics, which essentially is aimed to help different programs, such recovery of the Northeast Itonishu region and the devastation of the 2011 earthquake and tsunami that had just happened the year before. The plan originally worked for Abe. He was seeing a lot of good results the early stages. However, quickly in the early springtime of 2014, unemployment began to develop and spike increasingly to where it caused a lot of hardship for people in Japan. And as well, Japan had entered a recession by the fall of 2014. So a lot of good things were starting to happen, but it quickly broke down. I mean, it's just like any other government. However, I think his extreme values and his extreme ways to have things be turned around super quickly just backfired on him. Along with the recession followed, of course, more controversies, because what is government without its controversies, right? He went and approved a peace clause of the Constitution, which would allow Japan to easily use military forces if the country was attacked or threatened, which made a lot of Japanese people a little worried and scared that another world war would just pop up, you know, because why? He as well approved a 2020 Olympics building to be built. During that time, there was a lot of backlash facing that, just due to the increase in construction costs that it would cause if this building were to be built 5 years before the 2020 Olympics were even supposed to happen. It was quickly rejected after being approved originally. People in Japan adamantly did not want a new building to be built for the Olympics. Granted, I think most Olympics that happen, most countries don't want a new building to be built. They don't want things to be interrupting their daily lives because of the Olympics, which is fair. Fair, right? Due to his many controversies and decline in popularity, Abe retired. If you would have guessed it, he retired in 2020. He did say it was due to his colon, but we'll let him continue to think that. That's perfectly fine. Whatever you need to think. But Abe did have his successor, his chief secretary, Yoshihide Suga. So Yoshihide Suga, don't ask me to say it again, took over in 2020 for Abe. Now, let's move on to the shooter. Alleged? I mean, he is on camera. Alleged? Because he hasn't technically been convicted of anything yet. So, Tetsuya Yamagami, his early life also wasn't shared from him personally. And I couldn't find any articles that had asked him about his early life. He didn't seem like he wanted to speak about his life other than the impending problem which resulted in the assassination of Abe. So this entire section of his early life is told through his uncle's perspective. So take that with what you will. It could be true. It could be false. He could just be embellishing for the cameras. Who really knows? So we're going to go off his uncle's perspective. Take it with what you will. Yamagami's early life, it was him and his mother after the age of 6. A bit of a trigger warning as I go through his early life here. His father did take his own life. I don't know if that's YouTube approved, but took his own life. Yamagami was at the age of 6. Reported that his father, again from his uncle, it was reported that his father was extremely depressed and an alcoholic. At the age of 6 for Yamagami, there was no longer in his life. Shortly after Yamagami's father took his life, said that his mother then joined a church. Now, this church is called the Unification Church, which I'm just going to refer to it as the UC. It was originally called the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification, and they shortened it to Unification Church, but we are just going to call it the UC. Okay. So it said that his mother joined this church shortly after Yamagami's father died. And with this church that she joined, she would go on to donate over 100 million yen to this church. So as of today's standards, 2024, 100 million yen is $647,900. So she donated a lot of money to this church over the years. It's not said over how many years, but she would give large chunks at a time to the point to where her children would be impoverished. Okay. To help kind of recover some funds for his mother, for his brother who had around this time developed cancer and had lost an eye due to his cancer, Yamagami wanted to become a firefighter. However, when he was doing the test, I think before he was doing his test, he had come to the realization that he was nearsighted, so he would not be able to pass his test to become a firefighter. As well, during this time, Yamagami discovered that he had a life insurance policy on himself and was going to take his own life unsuccessfully because he did try for the life insurance, but was, again, unsuccessful. However, his brother then decided to take his own life to give Yamagami and his mother the insurance money. And I'm not sure if that ever panned out. It was never said. However, his brother did take his own life in 2005. He took his own life. Not much is said about his life after that. His uncle doesn't really mention too much. It could be, reports do say that Yamagami was a loner. He didn't really talk to much people. It could just be that maybe his uncle just wasn't around, or Yamagami didn't really do too much of note, according to his uncle. Yamagami in 2020 did get a job with a dispatch agency. According to his colleagues, he was very normal and earnest, and he kept to himself very often. Even when they would try to speak to him, if it was something outside of work, he would make extremely small talk to where, they knew absolutely nothing about him. If it was about work, he would tell you whatever needed to be told regarding work, and then he would stop talking immediately. During this time, Yamagami was, he was working, doing what needed to be done to help pay for things. However, he started to take unauthorized absences. Some of his coworkers found a little bit weird, out of the ordinary for Yamagami, but he had started to tell people that he was having some heart issues. Due to the continuous absences that he was taking, he ended his employment in May of 2020. No one really knows why, but we can kind of guess what's leading up to it. It was reported that Yamagami would watch YouTube videos on how to make weapons and bought bullets online. According to police, Yamagami made multiple weapons. Iron pipes. He used 3, 5, and 6 iron pipes as barrels. The final gun that he used, you'll see it here somewhere. There. Wherever it goes, it'll be there. He decided on a 2-cylinder barrels, which were wrapped in duct tape. It was really kind of interesting looking and very inventive. Maybe he had a career there, who knows, but he made the weapon and he was ready to go. He knew what he wanted and what he needed to do, and he made it. So while Shinzo Abe was giving a speech during a campaign for one of his, I believe they were the LDR folks, there were 4 bodyguards. So they were out of kind of like a crossing. If you've ever seen the Shibuya crossing, if you ever crossed a crosswalk, it was kind of similar to that. So there were 4 bodyguards at 4 different pillars. So there's 2 here, okay. Abe is right here. 2 bodyguards here, and I think 2 bodyguards there. So there was a total of 4 bodyguards. I'll hold up a picture of the drawing of how it was separated, right? So there are 4 bodyguards. Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 bodyguards here. Abe, right there. Speech, blah, blah, blah. I don't really know what he's saying. He's talking about someone for their campaign. Who cares, right? He's talking. Hey, everybody, here I am talking about this thing. Whatever, who cares, right? Yamagami is behind him, approaching from behind. So he's behind him and he's approaching him from behind. He stops in the middle of the crosswalk area and fires his first shot. Boom, right? The first shot missed. And if you know anything about Japan has a very strict no gun policy. Very intense, very no nonsense structure you have to follow even to get a gun. And even then, like, it has to be registered. You have to go through like this mental health test, and then you have to put it away, and all these different things in order to even get a gun. So I'm pretty sure no one in that crowd, especially after the reactions, thought that someone was shooting a gun. If anything, it kind of did sound like just a firework going off. So the two guards that are standing right here, and Abe in the middle, right? Abe right here. They all turn, look. Abe is still making his speech. Like nothing happened. And I get it, as a Westerner, you're probably like, I would have ducked, dodged, dipped, dodged, whatever to get away from what just happened. But Abe, guards, nothing. And again, Japan has one of the strictest gun laws probably ever. Maybe someone else is competing with them, but they have a very strict gun law. So Yamagami takes advantage of this and fires his second shot, shooting the prime minister, who again, giving his speech, hears the sound of the gunshot, turns to look. I'm pretty sure he's hit in the stomach. For the second shot, that is when the security and the bodyguards and the police, who are also there, but again, strict gun laws, take down Yamagami. Take him down. Why am I still holding this? They take him down, right? So they take him down and he's arrested. So shortly after, Abe is transported to the Nara Medical University Hospital, where he is pronounced dead at 67 years old, unfortunately. He was survived by his wife, and I do believe he had kids, but I couldn't find any reportings where it said that. So after being arrested and taken to the police station, Yamagami told police that he shot Abe due to the grudge against the UC, the church. Found later that there was some connection between the UC and the Japanese government. Again, the UC, I don't remember if I mentioned this earlier, it is a South Korean church. So it originated in South Korea, but there were different branches brought to Japan. The mainstead was in South Korea, putting that there. So again, it was found that there were some connections there. Dignitaries and legislators were forced to reveal their relationships with the UC. Yamagami did believe that Abe had direct involvement and political ties with the UC. Now, I did read some reports. There were some mixed reports. So some were saying that Abe and his grandfather did have direct ties to the UC, the creator of the UC, who we'll talk into in a little bit. There was some direct ties, allegedly, okay, because there were some conflicting reports. But then there were also some conflicting reports about Abe, the man who was assassinated, that he himself and his family did have direct ties to the UC and was politically funding them. Allegedly, because I couldn't find a direct confirmation or pictures or anything, and the trial has yet to start. So there's no evidence stating that yes, that for sure did happen. So allegedly. That's how it's connected, right? So Abe, him and or his family had direct political ties to the UC church. The UC, which is the church, right? Yamagami, his mother gave $100 million yen to the UC. Okay. He blamed Abe and his family, okay, for having direct political ties. Assassination. Crazy, right? Bear with me. The UC was faced with some backlash after its practices of donations were revealed. They would encourage their members to give large lump sums to this church for one reason or another, right? So Yamagami revealed after he was brought down to the police station that his original plan to assassinate Abe was going to be in Okayama. Okay? Okayama. He said, and I quote, "I was thinking about killing the former prime minister there, but I saw that there were emission procedures at the entrance, and I felt like it would be difficult." Premeditation. Peep. Okay. I mean, this is all premeditated, but you just kind of gave yourself away. Yamagami's mother was asked her thoughts after the shooting. She said, and I quote, that she was sorry for the embarrassment she caused the church. Yamagami was given an evaluation to see if he was deemed to fit trial, and it did come back later that he was fit for trial, and that was shortly after he was arrested. Had made a trial date, however it was postponed. I do believe at one point, one of the trial dates, there was a bomb threat, so they had to move the trial again. So as of 2024, this was just an article I read that was postdated in July. There are no set trial dates, so not really sure when he will get his trial, but as of right now, there's nothing set in stone. So, give you a little backstory on the UC, okay? So the UC was derived from Christianity, and it was founded by Sun Myung Moon. Moon believed he was the second coming of Christ. Say it with me, everyone. Cult. Okay, great. I'm glad we're all on the same page. Great. So the controversies of its teachings and its social influence caused it to be called a very dangerous cult, a political powerhouse, and a business empire. UC has not commented further other than to allow police to investigate the pew-pewing. They just want them to do their investigation and have no further comments. I did read an article where it said that they were being sued for the donations and that they were willing to give money back to the people. I mean, maybe just don't be greedy and take a bunch of people's money that don't have it and trick them into doing it, but go off, sis. I didn't read too much further into it because it didn't really have too much to do with Yamagami or Abe. However, if you want me to do more on the UC, let me know down below, and maybe I'll just do a whole separate story on them. Peep, 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 peep. Okay. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I thought this would be a little bit longer and give me more time to do this, but I guess I'm not good at counting and talking at the same time. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe. Let me know what else I should do. I think next, I don't know how I'll do next, but you guys will know next week. So thank you for watching. Click the bell thing. I think there's a bell somewhere there to know when I'll do it next. Or follow me on Instagram, TikTok. I will post when it'll be uploaded. But yeah, thank you. Here's a very sad half Kirby hat that I'm not done with, and I will probably just put them aside.